Hey guys, so today I'm going to do my very first one brand tutorial. I'm starting with e.l.f, but I hope to do this for other brands as well. And let's get started. So the first product I'm going to use is this lip tint, and this is in the shade Flirty and Perky Pink. I'm just using this basically to moisturize my lips, and it does have a pink tint to it, but I'm going to use a lipstick later on. So this is pretty much a tinted lip balm. It's got kind of a strange consistency to it, and it's not really as moisturizing as what I would like it to be, but the whole idea is to just use one brand. Okay, so that's kind of a pretty shade, but not really into that shade of pink lately. The next thing I'm going to use is e.l.f. Eye Refresh. Does anyone remember that I used to use this all the time? And basically what this is just a roller ball, and it's a liquid, and you just put it under your eyes. Kind of takes the place of an eye cream, I guess, but it's just supposed to moisturize underneath there so that when you put products on that area later on, it will blend better. So yeah, it's like a liquid eye cream, I guess. And then for my foundation primer, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I've tried a lot of e.l.f. foundation primers, and they're all good, really. I've never found a dud yet. So I'm just going to take a small amount of this and just blend it in with my fingers. I feel like I get better distribution of the product if I use my fingers. If I use a brush with a foundation primer, I feel like I have a tendency to use too much. So this way I can just put a really small amount on the entire area. And I don't tend to miss spots too if I use my fingers. Okay. And for foundation, I'm going to use the Flawless Finish foundation in the shade Porcelain. And I do have another e.l.f. foundation, actually. I have the foundation stick, which I really like that too. They're both really good foundations. Pretty impressed with e.l.f.'s foundation line. They have some, I'm just shaking this up because I haven't used it in a while. They have something for everybody. They even have an acne fighting foundation, which is nice for people who have acne. Okay, e.l.f. makes fantastic brushes, but I'm going to use my NYX brush in number 22. I've been using this with all my foundations lately, and I just love this brush. I feel kind of bad, like I should use an e.l.f. brush because this is an e.l.f. focused video, but I have other e.l.f. brushes that I will be using during the course of this routine. So this comes in a pump, which is nice. So I'm just going to pump a little bit directly onto the brush. Hopefully I shook that up enough because I haven't used this in quite a while. And it's not that I don't like it. It is a very nice foundation. It's just that, you know, I'm always trying and buying new things, and I have a tendency to grab for whatever is newest. So definitely nothing against this foundation. It's very nice. Okay, so the next product that I'm going to use is powder. I've recently gone back to setting my foundation with powder and I've been really loving it. And I want to try something new. So they have a line of products called Beautifully Bare. And this is the Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in the shade Light/Medium. This is the box that it comes in. And the packaging on this is absolutely gorgeous. It's a mirrored compact, and I think that for the price, this is really fancy. And then it has a mirror, of course, inside, and if you flip the product up, it has a makeup sponge. By the way, while we're on this subject, I did want to quickly mention that I really like applying my powder with a sponge these days. And since the ones that come with the compacts, or some don't, these wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world to clean, like a beauty blender type sponge. So what I do is I pick up these. This is Walmart's brand, Equate, and they sell these packages of round applicator sponges, and they are latex free and disposable. So you just use it like a few times until it starts to look, you know, kind of dirty, and then just toss it out and take a new one. But it's really inexpensive for a package of these, so that's what I usually do. All right, so back to the product. So this is the product. It's quite yellow, and I was a little worried about the tone of the powder, but we're going to try it anyway. Sometimes it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put the sponge in the powder and swirl it around a little bit, and then I'm just going to press it into my skin. Okay, this is quite yellow, so I'm probably going to have to go back and blend this with a brush. Seems to have a lot of pigment to it. It's almost like a powder foundation rather than just a finishing powder. This is the first time I've used this. I just bought this yesterday, I think it was. Okay, so I'm just pressing this into the skin. And now, because of the patchiness of the color, I'm going to grab an e.l.f. Studio powder brush and just fluff it up in my hand a little bit. And I'm going to blend over that powder just to give it a better distribution and blend it into the skin a little more. Yeah, that powder has a really strong yellow tone to it. But sometimes that's good in a way for me because it helps cancel out the pink tones in my skin a little bit. Okay, so that's better now, more evenly distributed. And the next product that I picked up is from that same line. This is the Beautifully Bare Natural Glow Face Palette in Fresh and Flawless. And what this is, it's the mirrored compact type thing again. And what this is, I always have trouble opening things. There we go. And of course it has a mirror on the inside, and then it has a highlight, two blushes, and a contour. So I'm going to start with the contour. The contour looks really, really light, much lighter than I'm used to, and I can't see that working on a lot of skin tones, but could be wrong, we'll see. I'm going to use a Wet n Wild angled contour brush, and I'm going to dip that into that contour. And we'll see how this goes. Yeah, that's really light. Okay, so this isn't gonna take hardly any blending at all. And it's gonna be a very subtle contour. So maybe this would be good for somebody that was new to contouring. It does say beautifully bare on the packaging for these two products, so I guess it's supposed to be something more natural, healthy glow type thing. And then with the blushes, one is a little more peachy, one's a little more pink. I tend to look better in pink, so that's what we're going to go with. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. mineral powder brush. I like this for blush. So this one is a little more pink, so I'm going to use that one. Yeah, that's really sheer. Almost no pigmentation to that at all. So you don't have to be careful about dipping your brush in there, that's for sure. So it's just going to give you a hint of color. All right, and then for the highlighter, the highlighter looks to be a sort of a beigey color. And let's see. I'm going to use this Real Techniques highlighting brush. I don't know how I feel about this palette because it's almost too subtle. It's not really showing up very much. Oh, I got a blemish right there. I should have put some concealer on that. Because now I've got all my other products on, so... I wish I had noticed that before. Well... Oh, I didn't do my concealer first. Should have done my concealer before these face products. Oh, this is not going to be easy. Okay, I'm going to use the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. And yeah, let's put a little bit on that blemish. Well, that worked pretty well. And I'm going to try setting that with a little bit of this powder, the finishing powder. Okay, so that covered pretty well. Oh, maybe this was a happy accident because I got to see how that worked. This concealer worked for covering blemishes, so that was the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. And now I'm going to do my under eye area. I haven't used this concealer in a long time, so I don't even remember. I'm going to take this Sephora brush. It's the airbrush concealer brush in number 57. Okay, and now I'm gonna set that with that e.l.f. finishing powder. And I know if I use that sponge, it's gonna be too yellow, so I had better use a brush. Let's try this. This is the BH Cosmetics 120 8 brush. And I'm just gonna press this. Oh wow, that's way too yellow. All right, I'm gonna take the brush that I used for the highlighter and blend it out with that, because not only will it blend the yellow, but anything that was left on the brush from the highlighter would brighten the area. Yeah, that has a really strong yellow tone to it, so not too crazy about that. You know what? I have another e.l.f. product that I could use too. I'm going to put a little bit of the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder on top of that to try to counteract the yellowness of that other one. Just a little bit though, because I don't want it to look too cakey. So I'm just kind of pressing that in there. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So next I'm going to use the e.l.f. eyelid primer in sheer. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this in the eye area and then blend it out with my finger. And for eyeshadows, I'm going to use the Nude Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. And that's what that looks like. So it looks like the lightest shade is quite light, and I can't really tell if that has shimmer in it or not. So, but let's try that. I'm just going to use this e.l.f. contour brush. Put some of that as a brow bone highlight. And a little as an inner corner highlight. And for a crease color, it looks to me like this one is matte and this one is matte. Now this one looks like it might be too light for a crease shade, so I'm just gonna do a little swatch there on my hand. Yeah, that's way too light. Okay, so this is the only other matte shade in there, so that's gonna be the crease color. And I'm gonna use this e.l.f. blending brush to apply that. So this is pretty much the only matte crease shade in the palette. Now I could have pulled in the e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette if I wanted another option, but I wanted to just be able to do the whole look with one palette instead of showing multiple palettes. That way if somebody liked the finished look, they wouldn't have to buy 2 palettes. This is actually a pretty shade for a crease color. These shadows blend pretty nice too. They're not patchy, dry, or stiff at all. As you can see, I'm just going back and forth and building it slowly. I don't like to put a lot of product on at one time because then it would have to be blended out more in the end. I would rather just do it gradually. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, the big question is, what am I going to do as a lid shade? The palette is called Rose Gold, and this shade right here is definitely the most rose gold of the bunch. However, there's a gold, straight up gold right here that's also really pretty. I think I had gold eyeshadow on my lid yesterday though, so let's go for this rose gold one. This is a MAC 239 shader brush. Yeah, I feel like this color probably goes better with the crease shade too. And it's going on nice, just like the others did. So this is a nice palette. I have used this before, and haven't had any trouble with any of the shadows. But I can't say that I've used every single shadow in the palette either, though. But I've used many of them. Okay. Now let's take a small pencil brush. This one is by Zoeva. And take a little bit of that rose gold shade and drag that along the lower lash line. Okay, now for eyeliners, I bought several e.l.f. eyeliners years ago. I didn't like any of them. So I haven't bought one in a really long time. So I picked this up yesterday, and this is just a kohl, a black kohl eyeliner. And it comes with a sharpener, which is nice. And on the other end, it has a sponge smudger, which if you like to smudge out your eyeliner, that's kind of nice too. Those things were included with that. So I've never tried this before. This has come out since the last time I bought an eyeliner from e.l.f. So with kohl liners, you usually want to put those on your water lines. So that's what I'm going to do with it. Okay, it's not really going on as easily as I would like it to, or it's not going on as easily as other brands that I have of kohl liners. Yeah, e.l.f. is not known, sadly, for their eyeliners. Okay, I'm just going to do this subtle because it doesn't seem to be applying that well, and I don't want to put too much pressure on my eye. Sometimes I don't like a heavy eyeliner look anyway. I don't know if this is going to transfer to the top line or not. Yeah, it's... You know what it is my eyes are a little watery today too, so that will make it harder a lot of times for eyeliner to transfer to the skin. I kind of like that subtleness of it. The whole cut sort of looks pretty. But yeah, that's nice that it came with a sharpener. Okay, next I'm going to curl my lashes. And you know what? I'll do this off camera because time consuming. And the mascara that I picked up by e.l.f. recently, maybe a week ago, is Waterproof Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara. And as I mentioned in my haul video that I did with this product, I've never had any luck with e.l.f. mascaras in the past. I really didn't like any of them that I've tried, but this is a new formula. It's better, but it's still not great. But it's definitely better than the ones that I've tried in the past. The brush is kind of unique on this. It's small, but it's wide. And I do kind of like this shape of this brush. It's easy to work with. But I am somebody, and I know this is very much a personal preference, I am somebody who likes a wet mascara formula. And this isn't as wet as I would like it to be. And I'm going to finish this off camera because it's going to take a while. I'll say one thing for this mascara though, it doesn't clump, but you just have to keep adding more and more to get it to show up. Okay, the next product I'm going to use is this e.l.f. brow pencil. This is in the shade Taupe. I bought this and I liked it very much when my hair was lighter, so now I don't think it's going to be dark enough. But I'm going to try it anyway and see how it goes. I'm just going to do a quick, really quick layer of this. Kind of get a feel for how it's going to go. Yeah, that's pretty light. You know what I might do is just go ahead and use this. And then maybe pop a little bit of powder on top. Now this is a very creamy brow pencil. So if I put some powder on top of this, it might cling to it rather nicely. Let's take a look at that that contour shade.
It's
No,
11 o'clock.
That's way too light. Okay, I'm going to have to steal a little bit of powder from my other brow palette and darken these up a little bit. I'll do it off camera. I just used a tiny little bit of the LA Girl brow palette that I normally use in medium. I just used a little bit just to darken it up a little bit because that was still pretty light with that e.l.f. taupe pencil, but it made a really nice base for the brow powder. Okay, this is an e.l.f. lip definer and shaper. On one side, you get like a highlight type pencil, and the other side is like a neutral lip liner. So I'm just gonna line my lips. And I'm just gonna line them, I'm not filling them in. And then the other side you're supposed to do like right above the line. So it's like a Cupid's bow highlighter. It's kind of pretty. And for a lipstick, this is the only e.l.f. lipstick that I own. This is an e.l.f. Beautifully Bare satin lipstick in the shade Touch of Berry. I must have bought this when that Beautifully Bare line first came out because I haven't used this in a while. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed my first one brand tutorial by e.l.f. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed as yet, please hit that subscribe button and I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.